What's going on, everybody? This is a stock market recap for Monday, April 21st. Sorry, I was away on holidays last week, and I'm going to be away actually next week on holidays too. So I'll be here this week and then gone next week. So while I'm here, just basically try and touch base and see what's going on. As we're seeing now, we have pulled back a significant amount on this initial bounce play, and this is just a bounce, and that's all we have to view it as until we can change a trend or change the daily trend at the very least. At this point, we did change the 4-hour. We didn't get a lot of follow through, or sorry, I guess we did kind of get a bit of follow through, but then after that we just kind of had like an equilibrium, and now we're falling bearish on that now. So at this point, on the S&P 500, this is ES1, the S&P futures, we are just looking for, I'll just go to the S&P itself, we are just looking for a daily higher low than this 481.80. And on the S&P itself, we just about tapped the golden pocket on the way down, but this was a pretty significant push down, and it's definitely telling me maybe the bears aren't done yet. And from my side, what I will be looking at, I did try, and I'll tell you what I've done this week. I did try and buy the first hourly oversold from this move. So I sold on this initial giant move up because that was just so fast, and this is kind of exactly why I did that. I was expecting a daily higher low at some point, which is now what we were looking for. But I figured, okay, I may as well test the first hourly oversold to see if that marks the daily higher low, which it did not at this point. So on this hourly oversold, I did sell part of it on the way up, but then I had to then I stopped out. I can't remember exactly where it was. I bought somewhere in this hourly oversold. I can't remember, and I think I stopped out the rest, pretty much break even. So it was not much of it was pretty much a nothing burger as far as making anything. And now we are making lower lows, and you can see this is kind of getting a bit extended to the downside at the moment. So we had started to bounce on the hourly. At the last hour of the day, we did bounce, and we're already seeing consolidation from that. We're looking for an hourly higher low already at this point. So my plan, I guess, at this point was that our hourly oversold failed. So now I would be looking at maybe 4-hour oversold, and that would probably be a test of this 481 level to some degree. So in the 480s, I would be interested in making an entry at that point. Where we are in the chart, I'm just not overly interested in being a buyer or a seller at this point. So that's kind of where I'm looking. And I would be a buyer in the 480s and maybe even 490s, but a smaller position, 490s, 480s a little bit more. And if this support does break, I would be a heavier buyer in the 450s area. And the reason why is because it's a previous all-time high. Monthly 50 moving average actually lines up there. But this previous all-time high is what my target is. The ultimate target, and that could be where we are heading to. And a very highly likely reality that we could go retest this all-time high. So I'm a buyer in the 480s to low 490s, and if this fails, I would be a heavier buyer in the 450s range, and I'd be waiting for a bounce at this point, and looking to size down as the bounce happens and try and get risk free on that bounce up. But yeah, overall, this is what this is telling us. Like we're underneath the daily 12 and 8 moving averages were pointed downwards. So I'm inclined to believe that we could still see an extended move to the downside. And if that is the case, then I guess this was, no, we had a daily oversold here. But anyways, if this does not hold, then we would have bullish divergence on RSI. So price action making a lower low while RSI is making a higher low. And that's what would have me very interested in this 450s zone especially. The way I see it is, as long as we are over this 450s zone here, this is technically considered healthy consolidation on a higher time frame. So like in a quarterly time frame, 3 month. See, like for a quarterly time frame, as long as we are over this, like we are actually healthy on a quarterly time frame. Like you see the way this has kind of guided us up this whole time, and we kind of on the 2022 bear market, we just closed right there at it, and now we just got pushed way up above it now, and we're just back to testing it. So overall, like on a long term time frame, we are still bullish if we can keep above this 457 level or 450 level. I mean, essentially, once we start getting into the below 450s level, then it opens up this huge range that we could be just looking for a higher low. Then things could get a little bit more escalated to the downside. Actually, would be a level 2, 401 and 336 on the downside. So at this time, those aren't in question, but those could be in question if we do start losing that 450s level. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at as far as the S&P itself. The semiconductors, and so the NASDAQ is kind of leading the way down, and that is because of the semiconductors. So it's kind of, everyone's kind of looking at the semiconductors as when these bottom out will be a good time for the overall market, because that is going to be showing overall market health, because the more semiconductor supply is needed, it's pretty much showing businesses booming, because there's more demand for these things. These are driving the market at this time, and we are, like, I would still consider us in an AI tech boom at this time. So or not a tech boom, but a AI war, essentially, a race to have the best AI, and the countries that dominate the AI sector will be the most optimal. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go over a little bit that's the way I'm seeing the broad market. Obviously, every individual name is affected differently between tariffs and whatever individual agreements that Trump has with whatever companies. But yeah, so I'm going to go over tomorrow. I'll go over more in depth in different names, and I will do a longer video in that sense about individual names. So I'm just going to go over a little bit in crypto. I haven't been paying attention to crypto, which is kind of I guess a bad thing as far as that goes, because crypto's been doing better, or Bitcoin has anyways. So yeah, we followed this equilibrium, longer term equilibrium here on Bitcoin dominance. Now we are just breaking this resistance. So people are happy parking their money in Bitcoin and trusting that more than all the altcoins combined. Bitcoin itself, we just we pretty much have an inverse head and shoulders here at this point. Now we just failed this upper. We could be looking at that. This hasn't topped out officially yet. It just looks like it might be heading towards a bit of a temporary top at this time, just with this bigger upper wick. Then if we close like here or further down, I would be cautious that we could start seeing daily consolidation at some point here. But this is a good sign. Like, I mean, this is people are trusting Bitcoin that more than they're trusting our stock market, which is crazy to say because how volatile Bitcoin is. So this is what the investors are saying, that we trust Bitcoin more than we trust our own dollar, the more than we trust our own stocks and companies. So I was watching this downtrend line, which kind of a falling wedge pattern, and we did break out of it and straight into a bull flag, daily bull flag, which we broke bull, and at this time we are double topping at this resistance. So it's very possible we could be setting up for a longer term inverse head and shoulders to be looking out, but this is good for a longer term trend line to be broken like that. We are looking good on Bitcoin, so eventually daily consolidation will occur. This is possibly just day one of a breakout as well, so we will have to see as data comes. Essentially, let's see where we are as so the hourly overbought was extreme at these levels. Then we made a new high with a lower RSI, so we had bearish divergence. That was kind of a telltale or tell that we could see consolidation, and we did end up pulling back and pretty hard. So we broke hourly support here, but we haven't officially changed the hourly trend bearish, and that would be step one for the bears to take over and head back down and start daily consolidation. But we haven't officially. We would have to break the low now. We have bounced, and if we break the low, then we're in our hourly downtrend, and we could go back and test these levels of the breakout here. That will be on watch. But like I said, Bitcoin looking better than the market is. Ethereum, not the same story as Bitcoin, and it hasn't been for many, many months. It never made a new all-time high here. It didn't even make a new high than this high here. So it is concerning. Yeah, and we are in a monthly downtrend, so it takes a lot. We need to start with a daily trend change, which we don't have at this time. So we're just kind of hanging out by the daily 8 and 12 moving averages, and it looks like we might be trying to head downwards at this point. XRP was stronger than Bitcoin for a while there, but right now it's not doing as well. I was kind of watching these downtrend lines. What would I be looking at now? Okay, so yeah, we did break out. I don't know where those lines came from, to be honest, but here's kind of, we broke out of this possible. Yeah, we kind of overshot there. So yeah, kind of a falling wedge as well on XRP. We are hanging out at the. We did change the daily trends, I guess technically, but after this breakout here, we are already at risk of losing this daily uptrend with this big upper wick. So caution on XRP that we could head lower at this point. If we lose this, low, we would have changed the daily trend, and then we are back looking at the bears in control. Litecoin looks like a big shooting star candle, so could be a reversal sign here. So caution on that we put in a top. We did get a daily trend change, but now we right into a why is there so many lines here? I don't even know where these all came from. We got a daily trend change right into daily consolidation, which could tell me we are looking at a rising wedge potential. So caution on Litecoin as well. And I mean, a lot of these names would be the same. And BNB, I'll go over that because that's one of the better names as well. So we have our daily trend change. Once again, big upper wick potential that this could be a rising wedge at this point. So caution there. I don't know where the lower trend line. We don't really have a lower trend line at this point. Just caution on that. You don't like seeing breakouts with no follow through. Then we start looking at bearish patterns like rising wedges. Okay, that's all I'm going to go over today, and I will go in more in depth tomorrow. Go over individual tickers, go over all the crypto. But the market's definitely looking heavy right now, and we could be going to test our most recent lows on the S&P. So I would be an interest. I am, like I said, I'm interested in this area if this support holds. And if it doesn't hold, I would be interested more in this zone. So that is my plan. So I will see you tomorrow, and take care. Bye.